Hey guys, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan, and we're taking a look at a recent auction purchase of a Nissan Skyline R32. Now, strangely enough, this one is not going to the USA. This one is going to the UK. It's a 1994 model, and so the very final year. You'll find that the 1994s are typically more expensive than any other year of these. The later models had, I guess, the best of the R32s. They don't have any oil pump problems. Or anything else like that, and I guess being the newest, they are most likely to be in the best condition. Now, when they become importable to the USA, prices are going up, so now is kind of your last chance to get these before they get priced out of the market. And it's a very good idea to buy one of these if you do like the R32. I think more and more people are liking the R32 these days for the classic 90s looks of them, and these cars were way ahead of their time, like at least 10 or 15 years ahead of their time when they came out, and so it's still a pretty good feeling, great performance car by today's standards. Okay, I'm going to go over the auction sheet here in just a second, then around the condition of the car, but first off the engine. Now, this is an RB26DETT engine. That's the twin turbo Skyline engine, the famous engine that everybody wants. This one runs really well. Skyline engines, when they get tired, you can tell by the way they feel and the way they respond and the way they sound, and this one sounds really good. Intake plenum doesn't have any peeling on it, and very small amount of peeling on the engine cover here. It has weird tape in various places. I already mentioned these in the rest of the report. I'm just going to point them out. No rust in the engine bay that I can see, and so that's a good thing. Auction sheet says that there's an oil leak on the engine, but from the top up here you can't see any oil leak. Now, oil leaks, when mentioned from the auction, generally speaking, they're pretty mild. If it says large oil leak, that's going to be large. If it just says oil leak, it's most likely more like engine sweats and not enough to drip down. Okay, timing belt was changed in 2010 at 103,862 kilometers, and this car has 154,700 kilometers, and so a good running engine with that high of mileage is really good to see. Lower the hood. Aluminium hood. Aluminium. Okay, here is an awesome shot of the car. Next, I'm going to show you the auction sheet, and I'm going to translate this for you with the translation coming from my mouth. Just going to go over here because that side's all bright and shiny. The sun. Okay, so 1994, that's the final year, and December, this is the very final. So that's quite interesting. Now look here, the VIN number here is a BNR32. And then if it starts with 3, that's the very final generation of them. And so keep that in mind. Okay, so it's a 1994, 154,700 kilometers, 5-speed manual transmission, AEC, power steering, power windows, alloy wheels. Purchased from user, aftermarket exhaust. Okay, various scratches, dents, repairs, wheels scratched, door mirrors scratched. If you look at the body here, we have A3 scratches on the front. Now they're all on the plastic lip at the front. Let me show you those now. Right here and right here. So they're not on a painted surface, and so that's really nice. Probably easy to take that lip off and then sand it down and then repaint it. Now there is W2 on here, here, and here. W2 is repainted, and the vehicle has been repaired with a repaint. I'd say that it's pretty good on the, you can see it a little bit here. This one is good. On the other side, it's a little bit more. I'll show you that now. But as I mentioned in the other video, a repainted panel to most people just looks like a clean and nice panel. People notice dents and scratches, but a repainted panel is usually not noticed by a lot of people. Now, particularly look in this area here, you can see that there is body filler marks. Okay, so possible rust around the fenders or something like that. Rust that has been repaired, I should say. Okay, inspection, engine oil leak, it says. Exterior has paint fade. Now you can probably see that on the roof here a little bit, but the car is so dusty it's hard to tell what is dust and what is fade. But it looks like the roof to me has some fade on it. There are products in the market now that can give it kind of like a pseudo clear coat that's not like real, but it still has the effect of clearing up fog. So experiment a little bit with that. Aftermarket harness in it. Reverse lamp lens cracked. It is. Okay, dashboard comes up. It's actually worse than most of them. Unfortunate, I'm sorry about that. But damaged dashboards, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 of these Skylines have it. Seat ripped and steering wheel wear large. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go over the rest of the condition of the car. Okay, so it looks like it's on stock suspension with stock wheels, which is a little bit funny because it is fairly tall. Most cars these days have a shorter suspension stroke, but I really love the feel of driving one of these with stock suspension over aftermarket suspension. You get a better performing car if you go with aftermarket, but the feeling of knowing the lean and the weight balance of your car with stock suspension is something you can't get with aftermarket suspension, because an aftermarket suspension might only travel about 2 or 3 centimeters, and so you don't get as good of an understanding about where your center of balance of your vehicle is. And so it's, in my opinion, a little bit more fun to have the stock suspension to give you a little bit more roll, and you still get a really good performing car. See front here, look for the scratches, they're only mild. Projector headlights, paint on the hood here. And that's the stock rear wing on it. Okay, aftermarket exhaust, that sounds pretty awesome. Nissan badge has been taken off and there's no Skyline badge right here where it typically goes. Here's the cracked lens they were talking about. But as a whole, the outside of the car looks great. And the inside, not so much, but I think overall pretty good package here. Some peeling here in the tint, and then fade in the paint. This section here, like pretty much all of them, has cracks. Let's see if you can see that. It's a little bit dark. And then the paint has come off. This part here is supposed to be black painted, but the paint has come off. There's a little bit up here that you can see. Open the door, and the door card has a rip in it that is very apparent. Okay, those ones work, and that's nice because they don't always work. It's like 6 out of 10 they work, but that's a pretty high failure rate these days. Okay, there's the largely peeling steering wheel. I'll get up and close so that you can see. So it's pretty bad, but these steering wheels often go bad. It's rare to see the original one on there even. Okay, 154,791 kilometers. Dashboard deformations, have a good look. Okay, this section is good. That face plate I took off and I hid it in an ultra secret location that nobody's going to be able to find. Okay, seats, you'll be able to see the rip on the seat. Passenger seat is in good shape. Driver's seat, rip here, and some of the foam has come out, and a small rip down here, and a micro rip right here. Here you can see the harness. This says 2009 in it. And first time I've ever seen a cigarette burn on the back of the front seat. Huh. Okay, pull the trunk lever. Open the trunk. Point the camera into the trunk. And it's pretty normal trunk. A little bit threadbare and some patchy stains. Not so bad. Oh, it does have a weird second layer in it. Take a look. This. I don't know what it's for. What is this? Sandam. I can't read what it says here. I can only read sheet. Maybe it's a sound deadening material. Don't know. Fuel pump on the GTR is so noisy. Maybe they wanted to quiet that down. Okay, So that is the end of basically our first R32 GTR in like 3 years that isn't going to the USA. Pretty wild. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.